Good afternoon and welcome everybody to the Graduate Life and Learning. My name is Mohammad Shifatusami and I'm a Global Liner Graduate Assistant here. Many of you are already acquainted with our activities. For those of you who are new to the CGLL, our mission is to provide a comfortable and safe environment where graduate students and postdoctoral fellows can network and get personal and professional support to enhance their career success. We also organize various events every week and on a regular basis to help you get through all the challenges that you might face in your graduate life. You will find out about these events on our website, and I'm going to put the link to our events calendar in the chat. So today, we are partnering with our International Students and Scholars Office, that's ISSO, to inform you about the green card application procedures after graduation. And thank you so much, Ms. Amy Mayberry from the ISSO for being with us here today and helping us out organize and promote this event with all of you. And finally, and most importantly, of course, we are greatly honored to have attorney Mr. Raju Mahajan with us today as our guest speaker. A little about him. Mr. Mahajan is an experienced employment-based and investment-based attorney. He has helped a lot of people getting green card all over the US. He himself is a poster boy of the American dream. He received his green card through EB2 NIW back in 2014, so he truly understands the extra barriers that many immigrants face when they need legal help. Now, although he is an expert in employment-based National Interest Waiver, that is EB2 NIW application, he's also sound in EB1, EB2, EB5, E2, asylum, and family-based green card applications. In today's session, Mr. Mahajan is going to highlight the options that are available for you if you are going to apply before you graduate. We held a similar event on last Tuesday, that was February 1st, with Mr. Mahajan, where he highlighted the green card application processes that are available for you if you're going to apply after you graduate, that is PERM, P-E-R-M. And so we have already uploaded that recording on our YouTube channel, and I'll send you the link to both of these events after we are done with this one. So you can ask your questions directly to him at the end of the session, or you can put it in the chat during the presentation, and I'll ask them for you at the end. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Mahajan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sami, for introducing me in a very nice way. I really appreciate it. And thank you everybody who is listening to or seeing me, like watching me today in this presentation. Thank you everybody. And thank you UNC Charlotte for giving me this opportunity to hosting this webinar. So without further discussion or further delay, I would like to go directly to our main topic: how somebody can apply for a green card even before graduation. So this is a special kind of situation because in general, people who come to America for international education, like for master's or PhD, even for those who come for undergrad degree, usually after their graduation, they get OPT, and while they are in OPT, they can apply for different jobs, and the employer usually applies for H-1B. After H-1B, they applies for PERM, like regular EB2, and then they get the green card. This is a long way to go, and it's like a sometimes very boring process and time consuming. However, there is another very interesting process to apply for green card even before graduation. And before 2016, this process was not very well known and it was not very easy. It was a very tough process to go. But in 2016, there was a circuit court case. The name of the case is In Re Dhanashar. So the judge of the case, he changed this application process very dramatic way and made it very easy for international students to apply for green card and get it approved. So I'm not, talking detailed about In Re Dhanashar case because it's a very, very legal discussion. I don't want to, make you bored in this discussion. In short, what the judge did is, before this case, in NIW case, you had to prove that you are such a person that if you leave America, it would be detrimental to American interest. However, in the case of In Re Dhanashar, the judge said, no, you don't have to prove that. All you have to prove is, if you stay in America, it would be beneficial to the United States of America. So he changed the whole dynamics of EB to NIW and made it very easy for applicants to apply and get it approved. So today we will mostly focus on NIW. There are some other applications too that you can apply by yourself, but mostly NIW. And right now NIW is the number one most popular process to get NIW applications, especially those who are doing their PhD, who already completed PhD or who are doing PhD right now. Also, there is some misconception that people only who have PhD degree can apply for NIW. That is not true. People with just a master's degree and with some work experience, they can apply for NIW. And there's a lot of example of approved cases. We also have a lot of approved cases with people with a master's degree and work experience. Also, there's a third way for NIW is entrepreneurship. So let's say you have a master's degree, and after your master's degree, instead of going for a job, you started your own startup company, and you received some substantial amount of funding and some recognition from different government and quasi-government agencies. So you can directly apply for NIW as an entrepreneur, and there is a big chance that your case would be approved. So those are misconceptions that you must have a PhD degree, you must have a lot of publication, a lot of citation to get approved under NIW. That's not true. Of course, that is the best case scenario. If you have a PhD degree, if you have a lot of publication citation, your case would be very strong. However, people with just a master's degree with some work experience can get approved. Also, people with a master's degree and entrepreneurship experience, they can get approved. So those are like the very short introduction. It was not very short, it was really long, but it is introduction. So let me talk like a couple minutes about this. So this is the first preference of employment-based categories. It's called EB1. So under EB1, there are three main categories of application. A lot of people call it EB1A, EB1B, EB1C. You can say that, but you can just say EB1 and then three categories. One is extraordinary ability. So in short, people who have a extraordinary ability, like let's say a very famous musician, very famous actor, actress, very famous athletes, players, or like in any way you are a famous person and you have received international awards and some other recognition, you can apply for this application, extraordinary ability. In general, this is not for international students, not for people with a PhD degree, but sometimes some people, they applied under this category, even though they're doing postdoc or they're working as an assistant professor, and they got some success. But in general, this is not for a student kind of person, but some people applied under this and they got success. Second one is outstanding professors and researchers. So technically, you cannot apply by yourself for this category. Oh, by the way, the first one, extraordinary ability, you can apply by yourself. You do not need a sponsorship from any university or any employer. You can do it yourself. The second one, outstanding professors and researchers, you cannot apply by yourself. Your university or research organization must apply for you. So if you are a professor, you must be a tenured professor or a tenured track professor to qualify for this category. If you are if you're an adjunct faculty, it's not a tenured track position, then you cannot apply for this. You do not qualify for this. For researcher, you must be a full-time researcher. So a lot of postdocs is not a full-time regular research position. So some of the postdoc positions, the university designed in a way that they qualify for this, but most of the postdocs, they don't qualify for this because their definition of full-time researcher and postdocs definition of full-time researcher is little different. So in many cases, postdoc students do not qualify, postdoc employees do not qualify for this. But if you work for a, let's say, national lab, then you definitely qualify for this. And also some universities, they design their postdoc program in a way that, hey, can I take a 30 seconds break because I'm getting a very important call. I'll be back in 30 seconds. So I'm sorry for that. One of my clients, he is in immigration court at this moment for interview. He applied for asylum, so I got a call from the asylum office. So today I will try to shorten our presentation within next 30 minutes. So right now it's like 12:40. I'll try to finish it by 1:10. And if you have further question, we will definitely have another session. I'm sorry for that. This is kind of very serious for that client, so I don't want to interrupt his chance of getting approved. So by the way, I'm really sorry for that. So outstanding professor and researcher, you must be a tenure track or professor or a full-time researcher. Certain multinational manager or executive, you also cannot apply by yourself. Your employer must apply, and it must be a multinational company, and you must be hired in a foreign country and get transferred to America, and then you qualify for this. This is called EB1C. In most cases, you cannot apply this before your graduation anyway, so I'm not going that detail about that. Next slide is, in this slide, I kind of like, wrote like the basic things about outstanding professors and researchers. So whatever I just said, this is here. And again, this is not something that you can apply before your graduation, so I'm not going that detail. If you want, we can have another discussion about this, because a lot of assistant professors and associates professors, they qualify for this, and this is good for them, but the university must apply for them. Next slide, external EB1. Again, this is for the famous person, famous musician, actor, actress, and other things. So usually not for students, but sometimes students apply under this and they get approved. Next one, now this is EB2. EB2. We will focus most of our discussion in this category, especially the third one, National Interest Waiver, NIW, because this is the one most of the PhD students and people with a PhD degree, they are using right now to get a green card. So in our previous week discussion, we said for regular EB2, there's two ways to go. One is advanced degree, and the second one is exceptional ability. For NIW, this is the same thing. You must have an advanced degree, which is master's or higher degree, like PhD degree, at least master's degree. In some cases, you can apply with an undergrad degree, but in that case, you must have a 5 years progressive work experience. Progressive means you must join, let's say, as an assistant manager, and then you got promoted to manager, then senior manager, then it means there is a progress in your career. So it must be 5 years progressive work experience plus undergrad degree. But most of the clients, they have a master's degree. So if you have a master's degree or higher degree, you qualify for this. If you have a foreign master's degree, you also qualify for this if that foreign master's degree is equivalent to US master's degree. So let's say somebody has a master's degree from, let's say, Jordan. So you must evaluate your degree, and then there's one organization called WES. There are many organizations, but WES is one of the most famous. So you must evaluate your degree, and WES must say that, yes, your degree is equivalent to US master's degree, then you can apply. Second one is exceptional ability. So even if you do not have an advanced degree, if you qualify for exceptional ability, then you can also apply. So there's two paths. You do not need to touch both, but if you touch both, that's great. You just have to qualify for one. There are 6 factors for exceptional ability. I believe those are in the next slide. I'll discuss detail. Right now, I'm just saying there are 6 factors, and if you meet at least 3, you qualify for exceptional ability. So in either way, if you have an advanced degree or exceptional ability, you can qualify for NIW, and then goes to NIW application. So let's discuss in our next slide. This is that 6 factors for exceptional ability. So the first one is degree. If you have a degree, bachelor degree, you qualify for that. The second one is letters demonstrating at least 10 years of full-time experience in your occupation. So a lot of our clients, they do not meet this criteria because people who do like a PhD or already graduated with a PhD degree, they do not have a 10 years experience in general. Some people does, but in most cases they don't. And a lot of people ask me question, hey, is work experience as a graduate assistant, will that qualify as a full-time work experience? The answer is no. Graduate assistantship is a part-time position, and it doesn't count as a full-time experience. So it must be a full-time regular position to be counted. The third one, a license to practice your profession or certification for your profession or occupation. So in most cases, many of our clients do not have this kind of license, because most of the people who do PhD, they do not need a license. There is no license in their field. Let's say somebody has a degree in physics, there is no license. Somebody has a degree in chemistry, there is no license. However, there are some licenses like PE, FE, like professional engineers. If you have that kind of license, that will definitely help you. So many people ask me question, hey, should I take that exam? And I say yes. Try your best to take that exam, pass it. Even though you do not need it, it's okay. It's always good to have a license like PE or FE license. So many people that also don't qualify for number 3. Number 4, evidence that you have commanded a salary or other remuneration for services that demonstrate your exceptional ability. Many people also do not qualify for this, because this is not just that you have a higher salary. Let's say you work for Google Corporation, you definitely make a lot of money, but just because you make a lot of money does not mean that you qualify for this number 4. To be qualified for number 4, it must be proved that your salary and other remuneration for services that demonstrate your exceptional ability. So you must get a letter from your HR department or your boss, and they must say that you are getting this high salary for your exceptional ability. And many companies, they don't want to do that. They say, well, you get this salary because we offer this salary for everybody in this position, not because you have exceptional ability. So if you can get a employment letter saying that you are getting higher salary because of your exceptional ability, then it will be counted. But if your corporation say, oh, we will not give you that kind of letter, then you may not qualify for that. So this number 4, many people do not qualify. So 2, 3, 4, many of our clients do not qualify. Most of our clients qualify for number 1, number 5, and number 6, membership in a professional organization, association. So, in most of the fields in PhD, there is an association like American Chemical Society, IEEE, many organizations. So you must be member of at least one association, and try your best not to be just a paid member. It's very easy to become a paid member. Try your best to be more involved. Let's say you are vice president of IEEE North Carolina chapter, or you are a vice president of IEEE UNC Charlotte chapter, and also you are a reviewer, also you are involved with their conference organizing committee or something. Try your best to be more involved, and try to be involved in those positions that's not only a paid membership, like it requires some kind of performance to be in those committees. So try your best to do that. If not, just a paid membership will also work, but try your best not to be just a paid member. Then number 6, recognition from your achievements and significant contributions to your industry or field by your peer, government entities, professional or business organization. So this is what we need letter of recommendation. So we usually require 6 recommendation letters, 3 from the people you worked with and 3 from the people you did not work with. So the people you work with are dependent recommender, and the people you did not work with are independent recommenders. So many people ask me, is the letter of recommenders mandatory? The answer is no, it's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended, because there's a lot of things we want to write in our petition. We need to support it with evidence, and there is no evidence other than recommendation letters. Let's say you are a very good researcher you are a genius student. Let's say there is no evidence to prove that you are a genius student other than a recommendation letter from your professor. So your professor can say, yes, this person is a genius student, and that sentence will really, really help you. So yes, letter of recommendations are not mandatory, but those are highly, highly recommended, because it helps us a lot to write a great petition. So we recommend 6 recommendation letters, 3 from dependent recommender, 3 from independent recommenders, but at least 4. 2 from dependent recommender and 2 from independent recommenders. And I know it's kind of a little hard sometimes to get independent recommenders, because the people who never work with, why they will write recommendation letter for you? Trust me, this is a very established industry. Everybody knows about it. It's not that hard. Just approach people, like approach professors from other universities or people who work in the industry. Try to use your network to get recommendation letters. Sometimes it takes a little time, little work, but it's manageable, and those are really helpful for your application. Next slide. Okay, so when you start working for NIW in our firm, we ask for a few things. We ask for your research summary or project summaries. 4 research summaries. Let's say you are a PhD student, you have 4 publications, so you just submit us summary of those publications. It's not abstract, because abstract is a very technical summary. We want non-technical summary. We want summary that a person with a high school diploma with a very basic English knowledge will understand what is the topic of this research. So let's say half-page or one-page summary of your publication in a non-technical language. A lot of people who do not have PhD degree or who are not doing PhD, they do not have publications. So for them, it's not research summary, it's project summary. So in your work, let's say you're working with 2 or 3 or 4 different projects, you just write the summary of those projects. Also, let's say you had an internship in a separate company, you can write your job description and responsibility as a project summary. That will also work. So 4 research or project summaries. Letter of recommendation, as I said, 3 and 3, 3 from dependent recommender, 3 from independent recommender. Proposed endeavor. So proposed endeavor is very significant for NIW application. Proposed endeavor means your future plan, what you want to do in future. Like in future means like near future, like after your graduation or after 2 years, what is your plan? And your proposed endeavor must be connected to your degree or your field of study. You cannot, let's say you are an electrical engineer, and you cannot say, oh, my proposed endeavor is to be an environmental engineer. It must be connected to your degree. Also, not just I want to do research in this field. Try your best to explain what kind of research you want to do. Like go a little deep, explain a little bit that USCIS officers can understand. So I would say 30 to 40% success for any NIW application depends on proposed endeavor. If you write a good proposed endeavor, it would be really, really helpful for you. If you do not write a good proposed endeavor, it could be a little bad for you. So what we do when you write proposed endeavor and submit to us, we read it and we consult with you, we sit with you, and we help you to develop it. We want to submit a really good proposed endeavor. Otherwise, your case could be weak. That's why proposed endeavor is really, really significant. And when we have your proposed endeavor, when we have recommendation letters, your research summary, you definitely submit your CV in the beginning. Then we start writing the petition. Petition itself is like the actual writing is 30 to 40 pages long, and with all the exhibits like your diploma, your transcript, your recommendation letter, your all the supporting documents, including everything, it goes around like 300-400 pages long. And with that, there's like a sub 3 forms: form I-140, form ETA 750B, and also we submitted G28. That means like we are your attorney. We submit all these forms and petitions together to USCIS, and usually it takes like 8 months to 1 year to get it approved. So this is like the basic summary of NIW. And also, let me tell you one thing. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Attorney Raju Mahajan and Associates. I have 5 or 6 videos on NIW. And in those videos, I explain detail about everything that I said. And in total, it's like a 1-hour kind of presentation. So if you watch those videos, I believe those will be really, really helpful for you. So that was our presentation today. If you have any question, please ask me. I'll be more than happy to answer you until 12:10. Sorry, 1:10.
If anybody wants to ask
I
him a
have
question,
a
yeah,
very
go ahead.
I have a very specific question about my visa status.
Mhm.
If you if you're okay to answer.
Sure.
I had H1 visa and then I changed to F1
Mhm.
to take my course full time. And
Mhm.
the H1 I converted now. So, but it is still August, this year, August. And I have applied for green card
Mhm.
and my I-140 got approved.
Mhm.
So now I have a question like if I convert back to H1
Mhm.
in my final semester, my final semester would be done by December, but I
Mhm.
have H1 till August.
Mhm.
So if I'm converting that, my green card status that I-140 can be carried over.
Yes. So your green card process, I-140, which country you're from?
I'm from India, but I
Yeah.
worked here almost 12 years in banking, and I had an employer who applied my visa like
Yeah.
H1, and he applied the green card thing also.
Yeah. The reason I asked you which country you're from is if your I-140 is EB2 NIW or regular EB2, then there's like around 10 years of waiting period. But if your I-140 is based on EB1, then you can immediately apply for I-485 adjustment of status. So yes, your H1 status and your I-140 and green card application is totally independent of each other. So even if you move to H1 back, if you stay in F1, it will not impact your green card application at all.
Okay. So if I continue my F1 till December, and if I apply new H1 again, it won't impact, right? The
No,
I-140
no.
will still stay same. Okay,
Exactly.
thank you.
I-140 would be still same, and you have to wait for the priority date mentioned in the I-140 to apply for
Yeah,
I-485.
yeah.
That's it. That's it. But that will not
Okay.
have any impact on any other thing.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for your question. We have a couple questions here on the chat, so I'll go in order. So the first question is, does it have to be American work experience or foreign work experience will also count?
It's a good question. Yes, any work experience will count, but I recommend those work experience with a good company. Let's say you are working with like a multinational company, but in a small country in Asia or in Africa, that's also fine. Let's say you work for Chevron or like a BP kind of big corporation, but you work in Nigeria or Bangladesh or Mongolia, that will work. But it must be a good corporation and good work experience. The country doesn't matter.
Okay, the next question is this only for graduate students or can this also apply for the undergraduate students too?
Well, undergrad students with the undergrad degree, like not a student, like somebody must have a undergrad degree plus 5 years of work experience. Other than you do not qualify for this.
Okay, the next question I think you already answered. Will 10 years of experience from my native country count for this?
Yes.
Okay. Next question is there any conflict between the EB2 NIW and F1 OPT?
It's a good question. So EB2 NIW has two steps. The first one is I-140 that we discussed today. The second step is I-485. We did not discuss anything about that because usually people do that after approval of EB2 NIW first step, I-140. So the first step has no conflict with F1 or OPT, but the second step, I-485, have some conflict. Yes.
Next question is how much experience do you need if you want to apply for a green card with a master's degree?
If it's a good corporation, 4, 5, 6 months experience is enough. But if it's like a small company or like a startup, usually we recommend like at least 1 year.
Okay, next question. If an organization is in the process of applying for H-1B for me, can I start the NIW process?
Yes. Yes.
Next question. What should I do if I have applied for my family-based green card, which is still pending, and I also get a job offer.
Yeah, so your family-based application also has two steps. The first one is I-130, and then either I-485 or DS-260. So if you are in the position right now waiting for I-130 to be approved, then you can do anything. But if you already applied I-485, then there are many things that you cannot do. So you have to be a little careful. But in most cases, people, I believe right now you are just waiting for I-130 to be approved. In that case, it has no impact. In any other situation, you can do everything as if that I-130 doesn't exist.
How many papers and citations do we need for EB2A non-EB?
So there is no magic number. There is no fixed number. It depends on the field. It depends on your specific area. So in some areas, like 50 publication and 200 citation is very normal. In that case, you must be in that kind of situation. In some areas, some field, like let's say theoretical physics, chemistry, like theoretical kind of subjects, 3 publication, 6 citation is a lot. In that case, those are enough. So it depends on your peer, like other people in your field, how many publication and citation they have. You kind of have to be something like in the middle in the area. If you have like a less than average publication and citation, then your case would be a little weak. If you have above average, then your case would be strong.
Is the process the same for Canadian citizens?
Yes, it is the same for everybody.
Okay. Do you think 4 years of industry experience in a small country plus graduating with a master's is enough to try to apply for the green card this way?
Yes, so it depends on like what kind of experience. So let's say if you have experience in a small country, but that experience is no way applicable to America. In that case, let me give you one example. Let's say you're from Bangladesh, you have some government experience that it has no impact on America. You cannot use that experience in any way. Then it will be very hard for you to use it as an experience. So experience must be something that American people, American corporation can use it.
What is the best route to apply for green card if you have a PhD degree and a job on F1 OPT?
Yeah, so in that case, I would tell you to apply for I-140, the first step. And when you will submit your I-485 depends on your OPT situation. It depends on many factors. Usually we speak with the person and discuss all that factors, and then they decide like when to apply for I-485.
Do you think only a master's degree with a currently F1 visa status is sufficient to apply for the green card?
You can qualify for apply, but just a master's degree with no experience would be a little weak.
If I get a job offer under OPT for a big corporation, but they want to apply for the H-1B visa instead of the green card, can I use this way to use my work experience with them to apply for the green card directly on my own?
Yes, you can.
Okay, guys, so we don't have any other questions on the chat. So if you have any questions,
can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
So as I said, my H1 would be expiring by August, like the one I have it in parallel with the F1. So if I'm applying H1, if I'm not using it now, means I'm not converting from F1 to H1, and I am applying after my graduation, sometime in January, by then I'll be losing my earlier H1, right? So my new H1 would be considered as a general pool, or will I be getting any special thing, like I already had H1? So will I be coming under the different quota, or will I be in the general pool?
So how long have you been in H1 status? How many years?
It's 8 years.
8 years. Okay, so your status would be under a different law. It's called AC-21. So since you all, like usually in general, there's a 6 years in H1 status. So after that 6 years, if you want to extend your H1 status, there's 2 different situations. One is like a 3 years extension, one is like a 1 year extension. And since you already have a I-140 approved, you definitely qualify for AC-21. So yes, even if you wait for 3 months, it will have no impact, no negative impact. You can always apply for renewal, and you can either apply for 1 year or 3 years, depending on your need and situation. So it would be general. It would not be a different quota.
Okay, you said AC 21, right?
Yes, the law is called, there's like a big name. It's like an American Opportunity in 21st Century. It's like a big name, but the short name is AC 21.
Okay, so it would be considered as a new H1 visa only, nothing.
It would be extension, yes, extension. Yeah, it's not part of the previous. It would be a new extension.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
No problem.
This question is, what is the cost of the application process?
Okay, thank you. And I think this would be the last question, because after that, I have to go for that interview of my client. So we charge $3,500 for NIW for our fee, and the government fee is $700. Also, when we mail the documents, usually there's a $20 mail fee, so you also have to pay that. Also, recommendation letters, if you write it yourself, it's free, you don't have to pay anything. But if you want us to write recommendation letters, we charge $100 for each recommendation letters. So let's say we are doing the 144U NIW, and you want us to write 3 recommendation letters. So $3,500 plus $300 for each recommendation letters, plus $700 for the government fee, which is $4,700, plus $20 for mail. So it would be like $4,720 total.
Okay, so I think we are running out of time because Mr. Mahajan has to go for emergencies. So if you have any questions to Mr. Mahajan, you can email him directly, or you can check his profile. I will send you his profile so you can actually direct the questions there, and he can answer them for you, or you can set up, you can schedule a meeting with him or something. But he has to go now. He has emergencies. We really appreciate all of you joining us today. And hopefully we'll upload this video soon on YouTube, and we'll send you the link to the video. And you'll also get the link to our previous presentation from last week.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan.
Thank you.